Hey, welcome to Nightwave Radio tonight. I know I'm gonna probably screw it up, but Dreyden, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Buster. How are you doing this evening? Thank you so
Uh,
much for having me on the program.
oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. I was listening to your show there, and you said you from Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's the weather out there?
It's cold. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little bit cold, colder than what I like.
Well, it's been 16. Well, it's 23 now here.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's probably not much warmer than that out here. I'd like to go ahead and apologize before we get too far in the program. I'm kindly hoarse tonight. It's better than being a little pony, I guess, but I am kindly hoarse tonight. So just look over that. Thank you.
you all right, my friend? As I was telling somebody this morning that or a while ago before I talked to you that I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my ringer off. I forgot to turn it off. That I got up this morning because I was out in the wind yesterday pushing somebody into sleep. Nobody would
Oh,
help
okay.
them. Well, you got sometimes nobody helps people, and so I get out there and try to help people, and the person was stuck, and oh man, this morning I woke up gagging and coughing because of my sinus. So if you hear
Oh,
me go,
yeah.
you
Yes,
hear me go,
sir.
you hear me go to coughing. So you know why. Uh, how how did you get started in music?
Well, I've been around music for as long as I can remember. I'm the only one in my family, though, that plays any music. When
Okay.
I was 2 years old, actually, I started on stage as a dancing, actually, with the late bluegrass pioneer Melvin Goins. Fast forward to me being about 7 years old, and I started singing on stage, traveling with Melvin and with a few other folks, and singing a couple songs on their programs, and finally taught myself how to play guitar and got maybe just a little bit better, hopefully. And now I'm out here doing what I've always loved doing. So
Well, I heard you said you were 17 years old, so congratulations for all of that
thank you.
experience in music. You sounded great
Thank you so much. Thank you.
doing your show. I grew up listening to gospel and bluegrass and country music, so I know how it sounds great, wonderful tonight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I was a little bit hoarse today. Like yesterday, it was 65 degrees, and today it's 35.
Yeah, we had a 70 the day before, and then all of a sudden woke up next morning, it was 16 and sleeping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I heard you wrote some of your songs. You said, that one about the veterans. You wrote that one. How'd you come out about writing that one?
That's a story that I love telling. I never get tired of telling it. I had the privilege and honor of meeting a wonderful World War II veteran. He has since passed away, but and he was telling me about the different things that he had witnessed and experienced while he was overseas fighting in World War II. And I had no intentions of writing a song, really. I was just talking to him, and he happened to tell me those things. I went home and I thought, this story is too good not to be told. So I went home and I tried my best, and I finally come up with something I was halfway happy with, and now we've got it to where I'm fully happy with it. But it's Soldier Story is the name of the song. I'm so proud of that, and I'll obviously that song it it is a tribute to all of the wonderful men and women who have fought and served and sacrificed selflessly, defending the freedoms that we all enjoy in this wonderful nation.
Well, the town I live in is got an army base, Fort Sill,
Okay.
in Oklahoma here, Lawton, Oklahoma, and so I'm surrounded by soldiers. And where I come from, North Carolina, it was soldiers all over that area because of Fort Bragg.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was in the Army. My sister was in the Air Force. So I never could get in. I tried, but I had some bones broken. And back then, they wouldn't take people with stuff like that. So it's different today than it was back then.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So, you know, back in the 70s and 80s, mainly the 80s, you still had to, when you turn 18, you still had to sign up for the draft. And I did do that. But right across the street, my father-in-law, where we live at, he's a retired veteran. He that's songs like that touches my heart. It's the reason why I brought it up,
Thank
because
you.
I tried to ever Memorial Day and anything to do with the Army or Air Force or military, I try to come on my websites and try to do something for them.
Yes, absolutely. I understand. Like I said, I'm very proud of this country that we live in, and I'm very proud of the wonderful men and women who have fought and defended it.
Yeah, that's cool. So some of the other songs you sung, did you write some of them too?
I believe I did one other song that I wrote. I've written probably a few hundred songs, but
Right.
I've not got them all worked up to where I do them real regular. The other song that I did on there that I wrote was No Life to Live is the name of it, about a feller being out in the city and wanting to get back to the hills, you know. And I actually wrote that. It starts out, it's snowing back home, so they say. When I wrote that, that was a true story about snowing. We was in the middle of a big blizzard here in eastern Kentucky last year and
Okay.
was out of power for, I think, 12 or 14 days.
Whoa. I know how that is sometimes. I mean, when I was back in North Carolina, we had some sleet or ice or a heavy snow. You can just bet on power be off for 4 or 5 days.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
And back then I was a technician in heating and air, and so you figure the first 4 or 5 days you wouldn't get to go out and do anything because it ain't no electricity.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden you busy for 2 or 3 weeks because everybody, you know, they start back up and the power surges and everything that happens, you know.
Absolutely.
And so, but I was always intrigued in music. And so this is the why I do it for y'all.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm very appreciative to you and people like you for their support of the music and what they're doing to keep music alive and getting other people aware of newer artists and stuff. So thank you very much.
Well, you know, I like the older style like you playing.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's as a lot of people when I was growing up, they called it beer drinking and tear crying music.
Yes, sir. I've called it that a time or two myself.
So, you know, but it's been wonderful to be able to listen to the music growing up that I grew up with. I'm trying to think of the bluegrass. I've listened to a lot of bluegrass, but back in the 80s and 90s, it was some awesome bluegrass artists back then, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I'm trying to think of a few. It's been so long. I mean, I'm not trying to tell my age, but you know, and you got that style of music that they had too, you know. And it's hard to. I've been trying to find some bluegrass artists to be able to put on the show, you know. And I'm glad you come along.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's my honor to be on the program. Hopefully we'll be able to do this again sometime.
Oh well, anytime you want to do it. If you got a new song a week from now or a month from now, and you fixing to put it out there, if you want to come on and talk about it, let me know. We'll do it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And you can play it on the show, you know.
I'd sure be appreciative for it. Thank you.
I mean, I'm here to support the artist, to be honest. I mean, I started this 12 years ago and worked my way up to all these new stuff out there that tools I could do to do shows like this.
Yeah.
And also bought my own stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom of the screen, I'm going to show you something that Jerry William wrote for you.
Oh, hello there, Jerry. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in.
I just seen it pop up. I was wondering what was covering it up. It was my mouth. But now, getting back to your music, like I said, I want to stay to the true country.
Yes.
To the bluegrass and to the country I grew up on. Go ahead.
You know, I've always said, and I still will say it probably till the day I die, that what I try to sing is heartfelt music. I try to sing something that either I can relate to or that my audience can relate to. If I can't relate to it or if they can't relate to it, there's no point in me doing this. I might as well just pack it up and sell the guitars and go to the house.
Back in my younger days, I was a little older than you because I could drink beer. I was a year older than you was then. I could drink beer at that time at the age of 18. They hadn't changed the age or nothing. Well, I'd got married, and me and my wife, we lived out in the country, and we had a trailer out there, front porch, and we put a grill on it. We used to invite some of the family come over, and they played the guitar, they played the banjo, and we had a fiddler in the thing. The only thing we liked is the drums or something, but we'd sit there and cook chicken on the grill, and we'd cook other stuff inside, and we'd sit out there and eat, and they would play the music and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got to sing for your supper sometimes, you know.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I was saying to you. I grew up on that music.
Yes.
And I enjoy it. Yeah. So when I can get an artist or hear of an artist that plays bluegrass or something, because I'm in the country, I mean, too, and
I am too. I like all types of music. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of great other types of music out there. I love country just about as much as I love bluegrass, and I've been accused of singing a country song on more than one occasion.
There you go. Well, the country I grew up on is, I still love it better than I do some of the country that's out there now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bluegrass will never change.
No, there's some people that's trying to, but I think there'll still be some of us that's holding true to the tradition and stuff. And you know, speaking of classic country, you know, I'm sort of fortunate. You know, I get to work in that classic country field. I work for a classic country radio station, actually. Right. So
that's cool. But I mean, I've heard all music. I mean, don't get me wrong. I call it the hospital music, but
yeah.
But I that never touched me. But when I got across growing up, listened to bluegrass and gospel, and it started like soul, but it was country, because that's where the country music come from back in them days too.
Yeah.
And then you got a lot of the bluegrass is coming back, like Alison Krauss and Vince Gill is bringing it back, bringing back the older country.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And so, but you take bluegrass and country and you can mix them better.
Yes, they go together. You know, they go together like that because they have the same roots. They all are derived from that mountain music. You know,
right.
If you trace it back, it all goes back to the same thing.
All right, there you go. Sorry, guys, but if you writing these songs, do you, outside of what you're telling me, you got that from a World War II veteran? where else do you find your songs to when you're out there? Or does it just hit you when you know, or when you
Well,
out?
sometimes I'll hear a certain word or a phrase or something, and if I hear a word or something, I think, that kind of sticks in the back of my head. I may have a song 2 hours later out of just one word. Um, Sometimes, I see somebody else going, everything that I write about. Now that ain't every time me that I'm experiencing it. Sometimes I got a pen and paper looking at somebody else.
Well, that's where music comes from.
Oh yes, absolutely.
They don't come from going out there picking up a piece, watching some without watching somebody is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of people singing songs and hip hop and other stuff, I got somebody else writing something. Yeah, I know I had a record player back in the day. We didn't have no I don't know who that Facebook user is, but yeah, we didn't have no well, we had 8 tracks back in them days. That's starting to tell how old I'm at. But we had records, 45s, and technically I still got some. I mean,
well, I do too. That's what I love to do when we're going into different towns and on tour and traveling and stuff. I love going to these antique stores, flea markets, thrift stores, finding these old records. I guess I've kind of become a record junkie. I've got a bit of a collection going on. I think at last count I had a little over 2,000. So
okay. I think
might call it an addiction or something like that.
I think I know who this is now. It's BC Lee down there in Florida.
Okay.
He's another radio station down there. He's a pretty cool guy too.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I got vinyls. I got those small 45s.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you can go back now and starting to buy vinyls again.
Yes, absolutely. I know of even bands that are new bands pressing their latest albums onto vinyl, rather than CD or digital.
Right, because from what I heard over the years, they have got better with the digital side of it, putting it on vinyl.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the music, personally, I think it sounds a whole lot better on vinyl. It has a little bit more of a warm, rich tone.
Well, if you think about it, if you had one that you played hundreds of times,
yeah,
and it collected a little dust and whatever, and you wiped it off, and it got the little scratch a little bit. That sound, it might sound terrible to a lot of people, but back then that's what we had. I mean, and I'm trying to think. My uncle had one of them autograph players. It was like a record, but it was round.
I've got one of those. I do. It's sitting by the grandfather clock downstairs.
There you go.
Amberola.
Right.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I got one of them wound up. Record players that handles the old records.
Yeah.
We got a few of them too. But getting back to you, writing music and stuff, and you up in the mountains, I know probably around close.
Yeah.
Around up there in Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, parts of North Carolina, Tennessee, all them mountain farmers and musicians and stuff. I mean, that's where a lot of guys and ladies got together back in the day, and played music. But that was the only thing to do on Saturday and Sunday up there in some of them towns, because you live so far away from grocery stores and Walmart and, get together. So you got together around home there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's still a few places back here in the hills, that's still doing that every once in a while, or maybe once a week or once a month,
Well, I remember going up in Blue Ridge Parkway, and we was up there and hunting for cabbage.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin was, and he was retired. I didn't realize it. I finally found out he was a veteran. He would never talk about it, and before he passed away, I found out that he was a veteran. But we'd go up there and get some cabbage for my dad so they could make sauerkraut. And his dad sold them at a fruit stand. And so,
okay.
but we was talking to some people up there one day, and I says, "Well, what do y'all do? Outside of farming for cabbage and stuff, how do you get your food? Do you raise your own food, your own milk and stuff?" They said, "Well, we got a store about 30 miles down the hill there." And, it made me wonder because, how far you was away. And then older I got on rescue and stuff, I got to thinking about that, how far the people was away and then, and the music and stuff that come out of the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, we're about 45 minutes from the nearest Walmart where I'm at. So,
if I had to go get a truckload so you won't have to worry about going next week, because if you got something, make a list, because if you get something, that's a little ways to drive to get something.
Yeah, just a little ways, sir, just a little ways. We've got a couple little local grocers, though, in the county.
Right. Well, the country grocery store sometimes is better than the box stores, as I call them, like Walmart.
Yeah, I agree 100% there. You got a whole different atmosphere.
You do. You really do. So where are you going next on your music and everything?
Well, we've always got different things coming up and different projects in the works. A lot of times can't always talk about that, too much. But I would just tell everybody, keep your eyes open, and we'll maybe have something to announce before long, maybe. As of right now, the next tour schedule, I believe, will be the Bristol Bluegrass Spring Fest in beautiful Bristol, Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Bristol, Virginia. I apologize, but that's in Bristol, Virginia.
Okay.
A wonderful festival down there. We're working that with Larry Sparks, Ralph Stanley II, and several other great artists I can't think of right off the top of my head, but we've had a little bit of downtime. I always take a little bit of time off in the winter. The weather is just too unpredictable, really, to do a whole lot in the winter. But I had a very busy fall, very busy summer last year. Very grateful for that. Looking forward to an even busier spring, summer, and fall this year, too.
There you go. You got school, you work in there too, or what?
Well, I'm homeschooled actually, so yeah. That's more of a recent thing. I used to attend in person, and I was prior to COVID. Actually, I was doing about 100 shows a year prior to COVID, and going to school.
That's what I was wondering.
Sometimes, the shows would take priority over school. You know how that is.
Yeah. It's like work. You got something, a show or a girlfriend to go see. That's more important than working sometimes.
I agree. Yes, sir.
So how far do you go down? I know you go around Kentucky there, and you just said Virginia, but do you go further south than that, like North Carolina? And
yeah, I'll go anywhere they book me, really. I don't have any set limits on how far out I'll go. I know that I've got stuff as far north right now booked as Michigan coming up, and I always love going down south, down Alabama, Georgia. That always feels like home too, down there. Of course, anytime I'm going somewhere, I try to make it feel like home. So
there you go.
But nonetheless, though, I'll go anywhere, Florida or wherever. So be glad to be a part of any event that anybody might be putting on out there. Arkansas, North Carolina, Virginia. We'll do them all.
Well, that's like you just said home and stuff. That's like I moved from North Carolina to Oklahoma. And then I moved from Oklahoma to Kansas as a manager of a company I was working for, And we had a manager come in. We was up there talking one day. He said, "Man, I'm homesick." I said, what do you mean? He said, I said, how long you been up here? He said, 2 years. I mean, a year. I said, man, I've been out here for 8 years now in this part of the woods. And I said, I've learned to lay wherever I lay my head at, that's home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like being home and stuff, but you can only take so much of it. Sometimes you got to get out there.
Well, I lived 39 years in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I got a son and daughter that still lives out there with their mama. I remarried and I got a 11-year-old daughter out here. Okay. And my oldest daughter's 30, will be 36 or 37 this year. I got 2 beautiful granddaughters. But what I was getting at, back to music, what I'm trying to do is bring all the music around. Wherever I'm at and I'm listening to country or gospel or whatever, it's home.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I still like to go to church where, you don't see it that much no more, but I like to go to church where the old time gospel is singing out of the hymn book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir.
A lot of where I went to up in Kansas and where I go here, they use a lot of video for their, music.
Yeah.
And
I've attended a lot, some of these mountain churches, that don't even allow instruments, they're still strictly non-instrumental, and right. You'll hear some of the best singers in those types of churches,
Well, that's like back home. It was right beside my aunt. There was a church. It was a colored people church, colored people out there. You could sit outside on her front porch or back. Well, she didn't have back porch. Sit on the front porch, and you could hear them people over there singing gospel music, and you want to cry. Because it come out of the hymn book instead of off of a drum or you might hear a piano or organ in the background, but that was all you're gonna hear.
Yeah. And the reason it sounded like that is because it came straight from the Bible, and they know what they're singing about. They can feel that.
Yeah. As we used to say, we called it to a certain extent soul music because it touches your soul. So
100%.
The reason why I said that, because your music, not some, but your bluegrass style music, I can feel when I was younger, I can remember the days and stuff, of bluegrass. And that's what I was trying to say, with your music and stuff, it makes the older people, and I hope you're touching the younger people just as good.
Thank you. If I can touch one person, that maybe they'll like my music or feel a little bit happy from listening to it or feel something from it, then my goal has been accomplished. I'm not in it for the money. If I'd have been in it for the money, I'd have got out a long time ago. I'm in it because I enjoy doing it. I love doing it. I think what a lot of these newer artists seem to lose is sight of feeling. All they can see is the money signs in front of them. Right. Don't get me wrong. There can be a great aspect of money in it if you get in right and stuff. But, what sets my music and a lot of other people's music apart from a lot of this commercialized music, I guess you could say, is that I know what I'm singing about and people know what they're hearing. They can relate to it. It's not all. Life ain't all about going out and getting in the back of your truck and getting drunk and having a party.
Well, that's funny. But what you just said about the money, a lot of people are out there for the money. I started this internet radio station 12 years ago. And even since I've been retired, I really hadn't asked people to give me anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, from the computers to the servers to everything, I paid for it out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And, it feels good to give back to the artist. I know some of the radio stations out there probably say, "No, we want money. But if somebody wanted to donate something, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to bring it up. But for me to try to, I mean, I've talked to, I got a young lady and her husband lives in Tennessee there that's country artist that writes her own music. She I can't even talk, DJs for me.
Okay.
And I tell her sometime and her husband, you know, because they both about the same age I am. And we get talking about music and money and stuff. They are not out there to make a killing, but they just want to pay for their gas to go into their shows. And all they want is, say, come out to, say, Kentucky and set up and play their music.
Yeah.
They ain't got to get paid. They make a little money off their CDs and their T-shirts and stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The money is always a touchy subject in the music business. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people are in it to get rich, you know. But there's another aspect to it. You can make an honest living doing it too. A lot of people don't want to make an honest living, I guess. I've been blessed to, you know, I've been in it for a long time. I guess if you count me starting at 2 years old, 15 years.
Well, I mean, you sound great. I mean,
Thank
don't
you.
get me wrong. Like you said, it ain't about the music. I mean, the money. It's about the way the music touches you. Is what I'm trying to say.
And it's about the people that you're singing it to. You know, if I was singing to one person, I'd sing the same to 10,000. You know,
Right.
That's one of the lessons I learned very early on in the music business from a mentor, Melvin Goins, and I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of great artists, Dr. Ralph Stanley, Marty Rayburn, Larry Sparks, and do a lot of cool, interesting things, you know. But if it would have been for the money, like you said, well, I'd have been eating pork and beans.
Well, you know, music again ain't like it was when I was growing up today. It's about being greedy, you know, money.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some artists now that gives back, you know, you know, gives back to the people. You take Faye Teal, Tim McGraw, back when, because her parents, and I think his parents was down there in New Orleans and stuff when that hurricane hit and flooded everybody down there. They give back to them, you know, knowing they lived in Tennessee, they had money and stuff, but they give back to them.
Yes, absolutely. You know, it's you know, you have to realize that without the people that support your music, you're absolutely nothing.
Right. And it was like several years ago, I think I was working in Kansas. Tornado hit out here in Norman, Oklahoma, and I didn't realize it. You know, I like some of Toby Keith's music and stuff, but I didn't know he was from Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So what he done after the tornado went through, he donated a bunch of tools and stuff to help clean up.
Wow, that's great. That's wonderful.
You know, so you know, you have got some artists out there that's got the money that gives back to.
Yeah.
And
and I'm not saying the money is bad by any means, no. But I'm just saying people get the wrong motives once in a while, and I agree. I think it's great that they give back.
It was one that I didn't think anything about it because he was from South Carolina, and only reason I'm telling this story is because of you. I mean, you remind me of what you said earlier about it ain't about the money or something. But I'm trying to think of his name. He oh gosh. But he was giving back to people, artists. He was on one of the show. He had a show that he was on, and he was mentoring some artists, and they didn't know who he was. He was dressed up in a different type costume.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that they like you see people having movies where they
like that Undercover Boss or something.
Yeah, something like that, you know. And he was going out. He hit Texas. He's down around Houston, I think it was. And this one guy was out singing on the side of the street. And so he went across and he acted like he could, trying to sing, but he didn't want them to know who he was.
Yeah.
Man, he's a colored guy. He's awesome. He went from, oh God, he went to singing country music. Dang it. Dax Rucker. That's
okay. Yes. Yeah.
And then he went listened to set up a stage that where these young people was playing music and listen to them, and talk to them as one more. Well, when it was also, I think it was on Who's the Boss, that show was.
Okay.
And he brought these people in, and sat down. I don't know if it was in one of his studios or old church, because there wasn't no pews. It was all wood, and a piano and stuff was in there. So, but he sent the husband and wife up to California to a singing where they teach, music to make them better. He gave one of his guitar to that artist in Houston I was telling you, singing on the street. And the last person down there was, she was like I would be in a way, introducing on, oh God, karaoke night. She was introducing artists,
Okay.
And he went in there and act like he wanted to be on stage, and sing.
Yeah.
And he almost gave himself away a couple of times, but he screwed it up where they wouldn't pay that much attention. But that's what I love about people in the bluegrass and country way, because they want to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100% I agree with that. I don't know if you're familiar with the artist Billy Strings, guitar player, bluegrass guitar player.
Okay.
I think he's from Michigan. He phenomenal guitar player, and anyways, he went back to where he's from in Michigan, to the elementary school that he went to, and he gave every student in that elementary school a guitar. I couldn't believe it. I thought, that really touched my heart,
Well, that's what I love about music, because you got, and especially country and bluegrass and gospel, you got a lot of artists that will go back there and do stuff like that. That's in that music.
Yes.
I don't hear much of pop artists or hip hop or some of them going back. I know it's one or two that I know that's done it, but not like it is bluegrass and gospel. I don't know if they got we got more heart or some of these other people do, whatever.
I think some of it might have to do in how you was raised.
There you go. There you go. What do you got going on next?
Well, right now we're still recuperating with downtime, but come spring, like I said, the next thing I've got is the Bristol Bluegrass Spring Fest down there in Virginia. That's right there on the border, Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee, right there.
Okay.
Wonderful festival, and we got more shows coming up later that month. A lot of them I can't talk about just yet; they haven't been announced public.
Right.
But we will be on the road pretty good in April, May, June. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to get out and see everybody. Hopefully, maybe meet some new people, see the same people. Be glad to see them all. So we're really looking forward to that. Right. And thanks again, for what you're doing in the music. I'd love to get out to Oklahoma. I've never been out there before, never performed out there, but that's a bucket list right there for me, I guess.
Well, we got some places around here. We got some casinos. We got a place they call Madison Park. They got a stage set up out there where, artists like you or somebody would come in and sing. We got the Great Plains Coliseum out here, but I don't see a lot of stuff music-wise goes on there. I might be wrong. Yeah. I mean, mostly I see boat shows, car shows, animal shows. They hadn't done a music show in that I know of in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, for artists and stuff.
I'll tell you, I've never been too picky in the type of place I've played. You know, I've played everything from playing the honky tonk on a Saturday night to a church on Sunday morning. And I mean, I've played for 4 people. I've played at the Ryman Auditorium. I've been, you know, I've played a lot of different places. I've never been too picky though about what I've played. I've played, yeah, just been very fortunate, you know, to be able to keep a very busy schedule and, you know, with things lifting, hopefully, you know, maybe this
Right.
year, be able to get it filled back up like it was, you know.
Well, I had it on my tip of my tongue and I coughed and forgot. Well, I was going to ask, where can they go get your music?
You can find my music everywhere that music is streamed or sold: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. I am on it. You can also find me on social media on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Dreyden.official. That's the handle on all of them. Dreyden.official. We made it as simple as possible. I'm about everywhere that you can imagine. If I'm not on there, I always tell people, if I'm not on there, you don't need to be on there either. So, you can find my music on every streaming outlet, and you can follow me, keep up with tour dates, new releases, all that good stuff on my social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, etc.
Right.
Like I said before. So I always say I like it when you like me on there. So I appreciate, you know, the thumbs up and everything. So thank y'all so much.
Well, entertainment, Nashville Entertainment, Jill and them.
Yes, they are wonderful. They have been absolutely amazing to work with. I'm very blessed and fortunate and thankful to be a part of their team.
Yeah, I've been knowing them for about 3 or 4 years now, and they are awesome team to TJ and Jill. They you know, they're husband and wife, but they're awesome people to be around. You know.
Yes, absolutely. They are wonderful for all of their artists. You know I can speak for myself because I know that they work very hard for me, and I know they do the same for all their other wonderful artists that they keep on their roster.
Right. I mean, I've done last year or year before last. Well, last year some too. I've done a few of their artists. Got to talk to them, and like I've told all, and I'll tell you, and we run over a little time here. Don't make no difference. I can talk all night. But you were Eastern time, and I know I'm Central. that gets confusing sometimes.
Yes, it can every once in a while there.
I welcome any artist out there from the East Coast to the UK that I play some music to. Anytime you want to send some music, you're welcome to send it. We'll put it up on the radio. I got a show set up. I was going to do one last week, and some things come up in the family. And then I got this the other day. I was thinking about it this morning doing one. But you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much.
Like I said earlier, beginning of the show, you know, if you got a new song you want to put out, you know, I've told everyone that. Just let me know and we'll set it up. But again, you're welcome.
Well, thank you very much. You know, I don't say this a whole lot, but I think you're good people there, Buster. You ever get out here in Eastern Kentucky, look me up. We'll go fishing. We'll shoot some guns. We'll do something.
There you go. Well, I ain't gonna say we drink beer, but we'll cook some chicken or steaks or something on the grill.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
You can play some bluegrass music or something there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's the same out here. I've set it up, but then I put other stuff I'm trying to do too. But we got mics and stuff around here that we could, you know, join in and do a radio show and talk.
Yeah.
Get out this way.
Yeah.
Just look me up. But again, you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Just let Jill know, TJ or somebody, if you know, you can get up with me too.
All right.
Without you know, let them know because they working with you. But you're welcome to get up with me, you know, too, and say, hey. Also, if you got any MP3s, you're
Okay.
welcome to send them
Okay.
on nightwayradio.net. I also got, as they call, if you look it up, they call it a TV station.
Okay.
I put recordings on there, videos from YouTube, or
Okay.
somebody send me one, and I'll download it where I can download it onto there. I got a 8 gig hard drives getting full of music
Okay.
and videos and family pictures and everything else. But if you got something you want to set up, a picture or something, you see I'm with ISSA
Okay.
Oklahoma, but they're out of Georgia.
Okay.
They're actually out of Georgia. The lady that started that, I interviewed her was first one on the radio by phone.
Okay.
First interview before pictures come out, where we could do what we're doing today.
Mhm. Yeah.
I got a green screen. I'm going to sit up in here, play with it first before, but I can take, say, if you got a picture of you or a video that you want to show in the background or something.
Okay.
I'm learning how to do that. I'm still playing with that.
Okay.
But we can set that up and put, a picture of you as we do our interview again back on the background. That's what I want to start trying to do. The artist out of the barn back there.
Okay.
I mean, now that ain't my barn. I mean, I wished it was, but I'm a country boy, so
Yeah.
living in a city. The old saying, it's like bluegrass music and country music. It's hard to take the music out of the boy.
Yeah.
So the same way with being country, raising up on the
Mhm.
farm, same way. But I live in a city, so now I finally got sort of used to it. Not that good, but you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Come back, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You have a great night.
You too.
Be
God
safe.
bless you. Thank you. Thank you
Same
to
to
all the
you.
watchers. God bless them, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.